The Galactic Council chamber was older than most stars. Its walls were carved from black crystal that reflected the light of many suns. Delegates from across the galaxy sat in silence as a new name glowed in the center of the chamber. Earth. For most of the galaxy, Earth was nothing more than a small blue world at the edge of explored space. It had no trade routes, no embassies, and no voice in the council. Humans had only recently begun sending signals strong enough to be noticed beyond their system. To many council members, this made Earth weak. Councillor Derek of the Velrian Empire stood first. His long arms rested on the edge of his platform as he looked down at the projection of the Sol system. Humans are isolated, Derek said. They have no allies and no presence in galactic affairs. Their world is rich in resources. A single warship will be enough to force compliance. Soft sounds of agreement echoed through the chamber. At the far edge of the hall sat Councillor Han Jiho, a representative of an ancient observer race. His people rarely spoke. When they did, it was never without reason. Jiho's eyes remained fixed on the image of Earth, his expression unreadable. "Do not attack the humans of Earth," Jiho said calmly. The chamber grew quiet. Derek turned toward him with mild irritation. "You have data that contradicts our scans?" Jiho folded his hands. "No, only history." Another council member, Mira Sunhee of the Lothari Union, tilted her head. "History of what? Humans have never fought a galactic war." "They have fought each other," Jiho replied. "For a very long time." A ripple of amusement passed through the chamber. "Internal conflict is common among young species," Derek said. "It does not make them dangerous." Jiho did not raise his voice. "It does when they survive it." The council recorded his warning, as protocol demanded. Then they moved on. The decision was simple. A single Imperial warship would be sent to Earth. Its mission was not destruction, but pressure. A show of power. Earth would surrender its orbital space and open negotiations under Velrian terms. The warship Dawn Spear entered the Sol system 3 cycles later. From the bridge, Commander Rhett His watched the small yellow star grow larger on the main display. His crew moved with relaxed confidence. This mission was routine. "Any response from the planet?" Rhett His asked. "None," his sensor officer replied. "Their satellites are active, but no hostile movement detected." Rhett His allowed himself a thin smile. "They are afraid." The Dawn Spear advanced toward Earth's orbit. As it passed the outer planets, it destroyed a small human probe with a single pulse. It was a message. On Earth, the message was received. In a quiet underground command center, General Kong Daeho stood before a wide screen showing the alien warship's path. He was a tall man with calm eyes and a steady voice. Around him, officers and analysts worked in silence. "Confirm identification," Kong said. "Confirmed," Captain Lee Haru replied. "Unknown warship. Heavy weapons. Shield strength beyond civilian standards." Kong nodded once. "Begin protocol shadow." No alarms sounded. No public announcements were made. Cities continued to glow on the night side of Earth, unaware of how close they were to extinction. Deep beneath the oceans and mountains, systems older than most human nations came online. The Dawn Spear reached Earth orbit and opened a wideband transmission. "Humans of Earth," Commander Rhett His announced. "You will power down all orbital defenses and prepare for inspection. Failure to comply will result in immediate consequences." The transmission was sent in dozens of translated forms. Earth did not answer. Rhett His frowned. "Increase pressure. Target 1 orbital structure. Minimal force." A beam lanced out from the Dawn Spear and struck a human station circling above the planet. The station shattered, debris burning as it fell into the atmosphere. Still, Earth remained silent. On the Council's observation feeds, many delegates leaned forward. "They do not respond," Mira Sunhee said softly. "Are they unable?" Jiho's eyes did not leave the screen. "No." On Earth, General Kong watched the falling debris with a clenched jaw. "Hold," he said. "Not yet." Rhett His felt a flicker of unease. Fear was expected. Silence was not. "Scan the planet again," he ordered. The sensor officer hesitated. Commander, there are power signatures. Deep ones. They were masked before. Before Rethis could respond, a single object rose from the dark side of Earth. It was small. Too small to be a warship. A thin beam of light touched the Dawn Spear's hull. Every system on the alien ship went dark. The warship did not explode. It did not break apart. It simply stopped. Rethis was thrown from his chair as gravity failed. Emergency lights flickered on. "Report!" he shouted. "No weapons. No engines. No shields." His crew replied in rising panic. "We are drifting." Back on Earth, Captain Lee Haru exhaled slowly. "Target disabled." General Kong nodded. "Send the message." A transmission reached the Dawn Spear, clear and calm. "This was your warning," the human voice said. "You are in violation of Earth space. Withdraw now." Rethis stared at the display in disbelief. On the council floor, the chamber erupted into noise. "They disabled a warship without destroying it," Mira-san, he said. Derek's expression hardened. "A trick. They will not survive a fleet." Jiho finally stood. "You have already used their final opportunity," he said quietly. Beyond the view of the council and the drifting Dawn Spear, something vast began to move in the dark edges of the Sol system. Human eyes were already watching. The Dawn Spear drifted silently in Earth's orbit, its systems disabled, its crew in shock. Commander Rethis floated along the bridge, gripping the edge of a console to keep himself steady. His eyes scanned the display, but the lights flickered weakly. Every warning light screamed danger, yet nothing exploded. It was as if the ship itself were paralyzed. "Commander, we are powerless," Lieutenant Kara said, her voice trembling. "No engines, no shields, no weapons. We can't move." Rethis took a deep breath. He had faced many enemies in his career, but this was not like anything he had ever seen. A small, blue planet had stopped a warship larger than most of the fleets in the galaxy. "Contact them," Rethis ordered, though he did not expect a reply. His crew worked quickly, trying to bypass the systems, attempting any form of communication. All channels were silent. Deep beneath the oceans of Earth, Captain Lee Haru watched the disabled warship on the holographic display. Her dark hair fell over her shoulder as she studied the alien vessel carefully. Around her, engineers and officers monitored every system. Humans had not panicked. They had planned for this. General Kong Daeho stood nearby. "Do not engage further," he said. "Wait for them to understand." "But General," Lee Haru said softly, "they could attack again. They might send reinforcements." Kong nodded. "Let them see. Let them know what happens when they enter our space uninvited. Earth does not need to strike first. We control this moment." On the Dawn Spear, confusion grew. Crew members moved through the darkened corridors, trying to understand what had happened. Rethis floated to the observation deck, looking at Earth. The planet was beautiful, glowing with blue and green hues. There was no visible military response, yet somehow the warship was disabled. Rethis muttered, "It must be a trap, a hidden weapon of some kind." Lieutenant Kara shook her head. "We have scanned it. There is nothing conventional. No energy beams, no missiles, no magnetic pulses. Nothing that matches anything we know." Rethis gritted his teeth. "Humans are unpredictable." Meanwhile, in the council chamber, Han Jiho observed the situation with quiet satisfaction. Mira-san, he leaned toward him. "Did they really do this?" she asked. Jiho did not smile. "I warned them. Do not attack the humans. Their final opportunity has been given." On Earth, Lee Haru moved to a console and keyed a message. It was sent directly to the alien fleet. "This was your first and only warning. Leave our system or face consequences beyond your understanding." Back on the Dawn Spear, Rethis' face grew pale. "Consequences? They are not bluffing. They have power we did not anticipate." Rethis tried to activate one of the ship's engines. Nothing happened. He tried to power the shields. Still nothing. The Dawn Spear was completely at the mercy of a species they had believed weak and primitive. "Commander," Lieutenant Kara said quietly. We should retreat. Try to move away from the planet. Red Hiss shook his head. We cannot. Not yet. We need to understand this before we do anything else. Humanity is not what we thought. As Earth's orbital defenses remained silent, massive human fleets began moving. They were hidden, scattered, and almost invisible to sensors. Hundreds of warships, sleek and fast, emerged from deep space docks and asteroid bases. The fleet was larger than any Red Hiss had imagined. On the Dawn Spear, the crew watched the incoming ships on their weakened displays. Panic set in as hundreds of silhouettes appeared around them. Weapons ready, engines glowing. Sir, what are they doing? Kara whispered. They are surrounding us, Red Hiss said quietly, his voice tight. They are not attacking, not yet. General Kong observed the rising tension from Earth. He turned to Lee Haru. Let them see. Do not fire yet. Let them understand the cost of intrusion. On the alien bridge, Red Hiss could see human warships beginning to move with terrifying coordination. They were precise, disciplined, and silent. Not a shot had been fired, yet the alien crew felt the full weight of impending defeat. Back in the council chamber, the Velrian Empire delegates began murmuring among themselves. Derek clenched his claws on the armrest of his chair. They underestimated them. How is this possible? Jiho remained calm. It is because they do not understand humanity. Humans survive against impossible odds. They prepare for the worst while others sleep. The Dawn Spear floated helplessly as the human fleet closed the distance. Red Hiss activated emergency channels, but the humans had blocked all frequencies. There was no way to send a call for help. Red Hiss felt the weight of every decision he had ever made crushing him. This small, primitive world, which he had assumed would surrender easily, was now the master of the situation. On Earth, General Kong finally spoke. Now, Captain Lee, send the signal to the rest of the fleet. Show them the final opportunity. Lee Haru typed quickly, sending encrypted commands to all human ships. Engines roared to life. Lights flashed across the void. The human fleet moved as one entity surrounding the Dawn Spear. It was a show of force, not aggression, yet it made every alien on board understand their mistake. Red Hiss felt the pressure of countless eyes upon him, even though none of the humans were visible inside the fleet. The silence from Earth was louder than any explosion. The humans did not need to fire their weapons. They only needed to demonstrate control. Commander, Kara said, voice trembling. They can destroy us in seconds. What do we do? Red Hiss swallowed hard. We retreat. Slowly. We leave this system and we never come back. Humanity is not weak. We underestimated them, and that was our final mistake. As the Dawn Spear slowly moved away, the human fleet did not chase. They held their position, watching, waiting. The message was clear. Intrude no further. Back in the council chamber, Jiho finally addressed the assembly. Let this serve as a lesson. Humans are not to be attacked. The galaxy must respect their strength, their patience, and their resolve. Mira-san, leaned back in her seat. We almost lost a fleet to a single planet? Jiho nodded. Yes, and they did not even need to fire a weapon. The humans of Earth give no second chances. On Earth, General Kong watched the retreating alien warship on the screens. Lee Haru stood silently beside him. Both knew that this encounter was only the beginning. Humanity had revealed only a fraction of its strength. The galaxy would remember this day forever. Red Hiss stared at Earth as his ship moved farther away. A small blue planet, calm and silent, had denied him every final opportunity. He understood now that he had faced something far greater than technology alone. He had faced the human spirit. The alien warship Dawn Spear drifted away from Earth, its systems barely functional, but it was not alone. In the dark edges of the Sol system, hidden shadows began to move. Hundreds of human warships that had been invisible on sensors now emerged. They were sleek, angular, and built for speed and precision. No lights flashed carelessly. No thrusters burned unnecessarily. Each ship moved as if part of a living organism. General Kang Daeho observed from the command center deep underground. The display showed the alien fleet retreating, but he knew this was only the beginning. Humans did not need to destroy their enemies to prove their strength. The display showed dozens of warships aligned, waiting for his signal. Captain Lee Haru tapped a control. All fleets are in position, sir. Awaiting your order. Kang nodded. Let them see the full scope. Not an attack yet. Just presence. From the observation decks of the Dawn Spear, Commander Rhett His could see the shadows forming in the distance. At first, he thought they were small satellites or debris, but as the shapes moved closer, their true nature became clear. This was a fleet of humans he had never imagined possible. Lieutenant Kara pressed against the glass. Sir, how is this possible? They said humans are weak, primitive, and yet, look at them. Rethus's jaw tightened. We underestimated them. That is clear now. Every human warship in position emitted a faint energy pulse. It was not a weapon discharge, but a form of electronic dominance. The Dawn Spear systems flickered under the influence, engines lagging, weapons offline. The humans were not attacking, yet their control was absolute. Back on Earth, Kang smiled faintly. Prepare the communication channels. They need to hear us clearly. Lee Haru activated the long-range transmission. Her voice was calm, strong, and unwavering. Commander Rhett His, this is Captain Lee Haru of Earth. You have entered our space without permission. You were given one chance to withdraw. This is the last. The crew of the Dawn Spear listened in stunned silence. The calm tone of a human, a species they had assumed weak, carried more authority than any battle cry they had ever known. Rethus's hands trembled as he gripped the console. They are masters of restraint. How can they have such power and not use it? Kara shook her head. They are not just strong. They are organized, disciplined. Every ship in that fleet responds instantly, without hesitation. Rethus's thoughts raced. This was no longer about a single planet or a single warship. Humanity had prepared for centuries. They had hidden their strength, kept their fleet secret, and waited for the moment to reveal it. The Dawn Spear's crew had no chance to negotiate, no chance to fight, and no chance to retreat safely. In the council chamber, Han Jiho watched the unfolding scene through live feeds. Mira Sunhee leaned forward. They have revealed a full fleet? From a single planet? This is impossible. Jiho's expression was grave. Humans prepare for what others do not. They anticipate, they endure, and when the time comes, they act decisively. This is why we warned against attacking them. On Earth, Kang activated a tactical display. Each human warship moved with precision, cutting off possible retreat paths for the Dawn Spear. They were not firing, but the message was unmistakable. The humans controlled every vector. The aliens were trapped. Lee Haru monitored the enemy ship. Commander Rhett His, understand this clearly. You are surrounded. We will not strike unless provoked. Withdraw now or face the full might of the human fleet. Rhett His felt a cold panic. They have trapped us, and they are not even attacking. Sir, Kara said, voice low. Every system we have is influenced. Our engines, weapons, shields, we are at their mercy. The silence from Earth was more terrifying than 1,000 weapons. Humans had demonstrated control without destruction. They had shown that they could end the threat in seconds if they wished. Yet they waited. The restraint was intentional, a lesson that no other species had been prepared to receive. Rhett His attempted to engage an emergency system to escape, but every command failed. The Dawn Spear was fully incapacitated, floating as a warning. Even the most minor functions could not operate. It was as if the human fleet had rewritten the rules of engagement without firing a single shot. Deep inside the command center on Earth, Kang spoke to his officers. Do not fire yet. Let them understand. Humanity does not need to strike first. We do not seek war. We seek respect. Lee Haru nodded. They will remember this day, General. Every fleet commander will carry this lesson across the galaxy. As the alien ship drifted closer to the inner system, the human fleet tightened its formation. The humans were calm, collected, and unyielding. Every move was measured, every action deliberate. The Dawn Spear's crew realized that they were facing not just technology, but a species that had perfected war as a discipline, not just a weapon. Rhett his slumped in his seat, the weight of the situation pressing down. We underestimated them. We ignored the warning. And now, we are at their mercy. Kara glanced at him, her face pale. We barely scratched the surface. They have more ships hidden, more power than we can even detect. This is the humans of Earth. On the Council's observation feeds, Mira-san, he whispered, "They will never attack? How can they hold such power without using it?" Jiho's eyes did not leave the screen. They have control over themselves. They do not waste their power. They wait for the moment that demands it. That is the final lesson. Do not attack the humans. As the human fleet maintained its formation, a quiet hum spread across space, detectable only by the finest sensors. It was not weaponry, not a shield, not an engine. It was presence, authority, and preparation. The Dawn Spear's crew felt the pressure of it, every system failing under the weight of human design and anticipation. Commander Rhett his floated to the observation deck once more. He looked at Earth, calm and serene. There was no fire, no destruction, no chaos. Yet the message was clear. Humanity had revealed its fleet, its discipline, its strategy, and its final warning. Any further aggression would be met with complete and unstoppable force. "Prepare to transmit a retreat message," Rhett his whispered. "We leave now. Humanity. They are not to be challenged." Kara nodded. Acknowledged. Sending coordinates for withdrawal. The Dawn Spear slowly began to drift away, engines still weak, systems struggling, but heading for the outer rim. The humans did not follow. They did not strike. They held their position, a silent testament to the discipline and might of their fleet. Back on Earth, General Kong watched the displays. Lee Haru stood beside him, calm and proud. "They will carry this lesson for the rest of their lives," Kong said. "We have not attacked, but they will never forget. They will never challenge humans of Earth again." The humans had revealed their fleet, their power, and their restraint. And in doing so, they had taught the galaxy a lesson it would never forget. Do not attack the humans. Every final opportunity would be denied without ever firing a shot. The alien empire watched in horror as the full scope of human preparation became clear. The Dawn Spear had retreated, but it was only the beginning. From the dark reaches of the Sol system, every hidden human warship moved into precise positions. Hundreds of ships, varying in size and function, formed a network that made the alien commanders realize their mistake. They had underestimated humans completely. General Kong Daeho stood calmly in the command center, observing the movements. Captain Lee Haru beside him monitored every alien ship on the display. Both understood the next phase needed no violence. This demonstration alone would change the galaxy's perception of humanity forever. On the Dawn Spear, Commander Rhett his could feel the pressure of the human fleet. His crew scrambled to understand how such a relatively small planet could hold this much power. Systems began failing intermittently, and the once confident alien sailors were gripped by fear they had never experienced. "Sir, they are everywhere," Lieutenant Kara said, her voice shaking. "We can't escape them. Every vector is blocked." Rhett his floated near the observation window. "They do not attack, yet they control everything. Every movement we make is anticipated." In orbit around Earth, human warships moved with astonishing precision. Their engines created subtle gravitational adjustments, their sensors tracked every alien movement, and their commanders coordinated flawlessly across the fleet. Not a shot was fired, yet the message was loud and clear. Intrude no further. Kong spoke into his comms. Maintain formation. Let them understand the cost of their arrogance. Do not fire unless necessary. Lee Haru nodded. All ships are holding positions. Enemy reactions are stable but panicked. They now realize our capability. The alien fleet attempted to regroup, sending signals for reinforcements. But even those ships, approaching the Sol system, felt the presence of the hidden human fleet and hesitated. The humans had anticipated this, ensuring their strength was visible yet restrained. Commander Rhett his activated long-range scans to detect hidden weapons. Every measurement returned an impossible result. Human ships operated with technology beyond what was thought possible, combining stealth, speed, and control in ways no alien ship had ever encountered. On Earth, Kong watched quietly. They do not need to strike. Their fear is the weapon. Humans do not waste power. They wait for the right moment to act, and the galaxy must learn this lesson. Lee Haru adjusted the sensors. Their ships are still moving, Commander. They are trying to escape, but every escape route is cut off. The alien crew grew desperate. Rhett his barked orders to try to restore systems, to activate engines, to reestablish shields. Nothing worked. Every attempt to regain control failed. The humans had not fired a single shot, yet they had rendered an entire fleet helpless. Mira Sunhee observed the situation in the Galactic Council. They are immobilized, but nothing has been destroyed. It is as if the humans control space itself. Han Jiho remained silent, watching the events unfold. This is why I warned the Council. Humans deny any final opportunity. They do not act first, but when provoked, they are unstoppable. On Earth, General Kong gave a final order. Prepare the fleet for coordinated engagement, but do not strike unless necessary. Let them understand the extent of our readiness. Lee Haru nodded. All commands relayed. Fleet is ready for any outcome. In the outer systems, alien fleets attempted to intervene. Their commanders expected a quick resolution, yet every approach was met with the same result. Human ships moved with flawless coordination, cutting off any offensive or defensive maneuver. The aliens realized their numbers were irrelevant. The human strategy, preparation, and coordination were unmatched. Commander Rhett his slumped against a console. We underestimated them. Every report, every analysis, every historical record, all wrong. They are not weak. They are disciplined, patient, and decisive. Lieutenant Kara nodded, fear evident in her expression. We cannot fight them. Retreat is our only choice. The human fleet did not pursue aggressively. Instead, they maintained control, ensuring that any aggressive move by the aliens would result in total destruction. It was a silent warning, yet the power behind it was unmistakable. From the Galactic Council chambers, delegates watched live feeds of the events. Many species whispered among themselves, shocked at the scale of humanity's hidden power. Derek of the Velrian Empire banged his clawed hands against the console. We underestimated them. Entire fleets are immobilized by a single planet. Jiho's eyes remained calm. Humans survive when others fail. They prepare while the galaxy sleeps. And when the moment comes, they act with unmatched precision. On Earth, Kong and Lee Haru observed as the Dawn Spear and other alien ships began to retreat. They understand now, Kong said quietly. This was the lesson they needed. Lee Haru nodded. They will carry this story across the galaxy. Any who attempt aggression against humans will remember it forever. Rhett his sent a final communication, a shaky voice reaching Earth. We will report back. We understand now. Humans are not to be underestimated. Kong allowed a small smile. Let the galaxy remember, humanity does not need to attack to win. Our presence is enough. We give no second chances. The human fleet slowly returned to hidden positions, ready to act if necessary, but calm. The lesson had been delivered. Discipline, preparation, and strategy had won without a single destructive strike. The aliens had learned that the humans of Earth were a force beyond prediction, a species that would deny every final opportunity and teach the galaxy the true meaning of strength. The alien fleets retreated to the edges of the Sol system, shaken and silent. Commander Rhett his floated in the observation deck of his crippled ship, the weight of defeat pressing on him. Every officer aboard the Dawn Spear understood the same truth. Humans of Earth were a force unlike any they had encountered. The aliens had expected fear, submission, and surrender, but what they had received was something entirely different. On Earth, General Kang Daeho observed the displays in the command center. Captain Lee Haru stood beside him, keeping track of the retreating warships. Humans had revealed only a fraction of their fleet, yet it was enough to convey a simple message. The humans do not attack without reason, but they will deny every final opportunity to intruders. The Galactic Council convened in emergency session. Delegates from multiple species debated what had occurred, each more shocked than the last. Derek of the Velrian Empire slammed his clawed hand on the table. Entire fleets, immobilized by a single planet? This is madness. Jiho leaned back in his chair. It is the way of humans. They endure, they prepare, and when necessary, they act with decisive force. They do not need to strike first, yet none can challenge them without consequence. In the depths of Earth's command center, Kang addressed his officers. We have shown our capability. No battle was necessary, yet the message has been delivered. Prepare the fleet to return to hidden positions. Maintain readiness, but do not engage unless required. Lee Haru nodded. All ships are acknowledged and moving to positions. Communications have been established for monitoring potential threats. Beyond Earth, the alien fleets regrouped, sending emergency signals back to their home systems. Reports of the human fleet's discipline, coordination, and unseen power spread quickly. Commanders who had believed themselves invincible now questioned every tactical decision they had made. Humans were no longer just a small blue world. They were a species to be respected, feared, and avoided. Commander Rhett watched his sensors, trying to regain some measure of control. Every scan returned the same result. Humans had prepared for this. Every possibility had been anticipated. They had expected intrusion, and the humans had responded with perfect strategy and restraint. Lieutenant Kara floated beside him. They didn't even need to attack. Their presence alone is enough. Rhett nodded, his mind racing. Yes, they denied us every opportunity. They are a species unlike any other. On Earth, Kang and Lee Haru reviewed data from the encounter. Every alien maneuver, every sensor reading had been monitored and recorded. Humans had acted not with violence, but with calculated control, demonstrating that strategy and discipline could outweigh sheer numbers or technology. Prepare a summary for the Council, Kang said. Let every species understand why attacking Earth is a mistake. The lesson must spread. Lee Haru adjusted the display. Message is ready, including full fleet positioning, engagement strategy, and restraint analysis. In the Galactic Council chamber, Jiho addressed the delegates. The humans have given no second chance. They do not seek war, but they will not be challenged. Let this serve as a warning to all. Humanity of Earth is a species that cannot be underestimated. Mira Sunhee shook her head. They immobilized an entire fleet without firing a single weapon. How is that even possible? Jiho's eyes were calm. Discipline, preparation, and patience. Humans endure when others fail. They prepare when others sleep. And when the moment comes, they act decisively. On the Dawn Spear, Rhett sent a final message to Earth. We acknowledge our mistake. Humans are to be respected. We will not return. Back on Earth, Kang and Lee Haru watched the message. A quiet sense of satisfaction filled the room. Humanity had not sought revenge, nor had they destroyed their enemies. They had merely demonstrated their strength, leaving a clear warning for the galaxy. Do not attack the humans. In the following cycles, reports of the encounter spread across star systems. Alien commanders shared tales of the human fleet's discipline, the precision of their movements, and the calm authority they projected. The story became legend, a standard warning to any who considered aggression toward Earth. Kang looked at Lee Haru. They will remember this day forever. Every fleet commander will tell their successors about the humans who gave no second chance. Lee Haru nodded. And we have shown them that humans do not need to attack to win. Our preparation, patience, and coordination are enough. Even centuries later, young officers in distant systems studied the events, learning about the day humans of Earth denied every final opportunity. The legend was clear. Humanity did not strike first, yet it would finish every fight it was forced into. On Earth, Kong and Lee Haru continued to monitor the stars. The humans remained watchful, disciplined, and ready. They had demonstrated the ultimate HFY truth. It was not technology alone that made humans formidable, but their spirit, their strategy, and their refusal to yield. Commander Rhett His would carry the memory of this encounter forever. The humans of Earth had taught him, and his entire empire, a lesson that no alien species would ever forget. The final opportunity had been given, and it had been denied. The galaxy had learned its lesson. Do not attack the humans. Their war fleet, their discipline, and their unyielding spirit ensured that every final opportunity was always denied. Humanity had proven that it was a force beyond prediction, and the stars would never forget it.